Oh shit, there we go, there we go. Hit that music. And plug in. What up, what up, what up? Hey everybody. Welcome to the Hot Pudge IG Live show. My name is Pudge Fernandez. I am your host for this evening's events. Thank you everybody for watching. Welcome to everybody who's watching for the first time. A little backstory. Again, my name is Pudge Fernandez. I am a stand-up comedian here in New York City for the past 15 years. And like everybody else, when the pandemic hit, it affected me. No more stage time, no more shows. So I had to adapt. And one of the things I did to adapt was start doing these IG Lives. I started back in about April. And already I have 40 episodes. I'm on my second season. And I've been having a fun time and doing a lot of great interviews. For the most part, they're mostly comedians, well-known comedians, New York comedians, people you've seen on HBO, Comedy Central, Showtime at the Apollo. But occasionally I get a very cool special guest, which I'm trying to get more of. But tonight's a very cool guest. It's actually somebody I went to school with, somebody from right here in Queens, New York, my hometown. And we found each other on Facebook like everybody else. And, you know, come to find out, this guy has a very, very interesting history since leaving high school. We went to Newtown. Shout out to Newtown High School. What? And yes, like myself, he did some time in the military. He was in the Navy. And then afterwards, he became a federal agent. So way cool. Way cool. Let's get him on right now, ladies and gentlemen. Together for Mr. Raul Seashell. That's what he goes by on Facebook. I know some of you guys are like Seashell. Yes, Seashell. What's up, Raul? You got me? He's got the nice Christmas tree in the back, looking all cute and shit. He's still cute, just like his yearbook picture. Que lindo. Just a little late with the Wi-Fi. Here we go. Come in, Raul. It reminds me of the military. Just nothing works. Nothing works. I can see him, but I can't. Raul, if you can hear me, probably click off and click back on, because this happens from time to time from the Wi-Fi. It's just like the military. Everything's broken. Nothing works. You got to slap it, hit it. I don't know, play with it a little bit. Or if you want, jump off. Yeah, there you go. Jump back. Are you there? Can you hear me? I don't have any sound. I can see you. You look handsome. I can see the tree. It just went dark. Is it the plug? Is it your headset? Maybe. Hey, wait. Okay. Shout out to everybody checking in. I know a lot of people were excited. Shout out to all the Newtown alumni. What? Class of 91 right here. You there, Raul?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
There you go. What up?
There we go. Technical difficulties as always, right?
I know. Hey, listen, we were in the military. You know how it is.
Yeah.
They give you broken shit, and you just got to rock and roll with it. That's it. You know,
exactly.
They give you a radio, and then next thing you know, using the smoke signals.
Exactly. Make do.
Adapt and overcome.
Adapt and overcome. Exactly.
So thank you for coming on. Mira, you look lindo. You're cute. Just like in high school. You haven't changed.
Thank you. Oh, stop it. Flattery will get you everywhere, brother.
Yo, so let me start off. Do you remember the last time we saw each other physically?
The last time we saw each other.
J Figs, shout out. I'm just people gonna be chiming in. Yeah, because I remember the last time I saw you physically. It's kind of funny.
I remember. I'm not sure if you remember the incident where one kid got stabbed with a friend of mine.
Oh, no.
No, I remember seeing you that day. It was
well, my story's more cheerful. I don't know about a stabbing, but this is Newtown. This is a Newtown thing.
This is Newtown, crazy Newtown.
Yeah, there's gonna be stabbings. Oh my God, it's so sad.
Yes.
But yes.
I do remember that day. Graduation maybe, right?
No. After that. No. So let me refresh your memory, see if you remember. I just got out of active duty, and I was back home in the National Guard, and I found a job. I was a bouncer in the West Village at a bar called Josie Woods.
Yes.
And I was working there. You show up, and it turns out you're dating one of the waitresses. That's what she said. That's what she
That's
said.
what she said.
That's
I
what
don't
the little.
remember dating any.
Okay, maybe you were messing around. You were a Seashell. This was
No,
20 years ago. You know.
I tell you, a lot of people get confused. My brother's on for my brother. A lot of people get us confused, right? Josie Wood. I remember the bar. I don't remember. What year was this about?
I got out in 97, so it had to be like 98, 99, maybe 2000.
No, because back at that time, I was living in Canada at that time.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I think I remember something, but you weren't, but you remember Josie Woods.
I remember the bar, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you weren't seeing a blonde waitress.
No, nope.
No.
No, not me, no.
Do
Not at all.
you have a twin brother?
No, I don't have a twin brother, but we look a lot alike. I've been to areas in God knows, upstate New York, and people are, do you have a brother named Rodney? Yeah. It got to a point where I was like, no, I don't have a brother named Rodney. My poor brother's probably embarrassed right now. I love you, Rod. That's broccoli Rod on your thing there.
Okay, yeah. No, just because I said that was, I remember you were. Yeah, I just remember. Well, we have Josie Woods that we remember.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just not the blondes.
No. Yeah,
Well,
I wasn't even in '99 already had, I was living in Canada at the time.
okay. All right. What were you doing in Canada?
And I was married. I had a daughter, and freaking married, living up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So this was after the Navy?
After Navy, yeah, brother. I got out of the Navy in 96, 95. Yeah. I had my daughter in 96.
You still married?
No, not anymore. No.
You're single?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I've been there, done that. Almost similar. You joined the Navy right after high school, right?
Yes. Right after graduation, like a month later, I was gone already. Yeah. Damn, I was still 17.
Why so fast?
You know how the recruiters are. They're like, we can get you in this class.
Yeah.
Start, And I just wanted to get out of New York. There was nothing. I wanted to get away for the longest. I always told my mom, I was like, Mom, when I'm 18, I'm moving out the house. And she's like, see, mijo, see, whatever you say. And I'm like, no, Mom, when I'm 18, I'm moving out. She's like, okay, mijo, sure. 17, I show up with the recruiters at the house because they had to sign a waiver for me.
So you started the process without them knowing?
Without them knowing, no, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. It wasn't until I got to the portion where I had to do the physical, and I was practically gone for 24 hours because they had to put me in the hotel so I can get up at 4 in the morning to take me to the Brooklyn Fort Hamilton to start the whole day. And I was basically missing for almost 20. And then I got home and my mother was like, where the hell were you? And I just had all the documents and I just slapped it on the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Like, guess where I'm going?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Wow, how'd she take it?
They were in shock. Yeah. They were in shock. They didn't know what to do. But I was already, that's when I was like 19, 20, I just turned 20.
Okay.
So I already claimed my freedom at 18. So I was doing whatever the hell I wanted anyway.
Yes.
But and overall they were happy because I was doing something with my life because I dropped out of college.
Yeah. I wanted to go away for college. And, my parents didn't have the funds and so on. They were like, oh, I want to go to community college. I'm like, no, I want to get out of New York. I want to, I've always had that desire of traveling and moving, seeing things,
So the Navy is one of the biggest as far as traveling. Yeah. You did what, 4 years?
4 years, yeah. But I was always out at sea and stuff.
What did you do?
I was an operations specialist. What we did was we shot Tomahawk missiles, SM-2 missiles. We did tracking of ships, airplanes. You ever hear of IFF? Identify friend or foe.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
It's that signal where we send out a signal to an airplane or another ship, and it says, that signal, that ship or airplane sends a signal back saying, okay, they're a commercial airliner, or they're a,
Right.
enemy jet, and so forth. And that's what we would do. And in combat, you have to make those quick decisions.
Yeah.
And so forth. But now technology, everything does it on its own. The ships can fight on their own.
How so you were actually on what kind of ship? Was it a battleship, a cruiser?
I was in a guided missile destroyer.
Oh, holy
Guided
shit.
missile destroyer. Yeah, it was Arleigh Burke class, but my ship was the USS John Barry, DG-52. Yeah. John Barry, if you don't know a little history, is the first naval officer of the United States Navy, and he was Irish.
Okay. And you spent the whole 4 years on the John Barry?
Yeah. The ship was a pre-commissioned ship, so I was like the first crew on it.
Oh,
so,
all right. You blessed it.
Yes, we blessed it. And so the first year and a half of the Navy, probably close to 2 years, I spent in training because the ship was getting built.
Right.
And then we'll take it out for trials and so forth. But once it was commissioned, the Navy likes to show off the new toys.
Sure.
So we were always out at sea.
What was the longest stretch? Like, I thought about the Navy, but that mindset of being at sea, I'm gonna put it bluntly, no pussy. The thought of being in the ocean with no pussy just kind of was like, nah, I can't do the Navy. I can't. I want to be. I want to be on land.
Yeah.
Remember, I was like 19. This was my mindset at 19. I'm an adult now, but
the way they probably pitched it to you was wrong, because you go to different places, different ports all over the world.
Right. All I heard was 6 months at sea, 9 months at sea. So all I heard was at sea. I didn't find out till later that you have stops in between.
Yes, of course.
And
now my mom's on. I have to keep it PG. Roxy rumor.
Yes,
Hola,
ma'am.
mommy.
Yes, ma'am. I'll keep it clean. Okay, let's get off that subject. Let's talk.
It was very entertaining.
It was very there's a lot of entertaining in the Navy.
A lot of entertainment.
I did not know. I wanted to be on land.
You meet people from different cultures. MWR always sets things up before we get there. So we hit a port and there's already things lined up, tours and things like that.
See, I didn't know that. I may have considered the Navy more. I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking with the wrong head at 18, 19 years old.
Of course.
So I'm like, I want to be on land. I want to be on land. So.
But it was great because myself, when I would hit a port, the guys would, typical sailor, they would go out drinking and so forth. I like to explore. I would go off the beaten path where like tourists don't go and so forth. And either with one friend or on my own, I would just, go meet people. And you start to learn, you hit port for a couple of days here or there. You start to learn how to communicate quickly, say hello, boom, and build a quick rapport where people would be like, you were the locals. They're like, oh, yeah, you're from the States or you're in the Navy, whatever. Let me show you around and so forth.
A lot of people around the world are very friendly to Americans.
Yes.
But you hit a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and all over the military: alcohol. Yeah, there's nothing more consumed. I mean, it's bullets and beer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like they go hand in hand. And like I remember we were growing up, around the way. You know what I'm saying? The White Castle, the Boulevard, our whole neighborhood, and at that time it was all about the 40s. It was all about the 40 ounces.
We would go to Newtown Field. We would climb the fence.
On the roof. The roof.
On the roof.
Yes. We did it too. Everybody did. That's why they extended it. That's why they built the extension, because we were going out. I guess that was that's what we did. Yeah. But it was always 40 out for the 40s, maybe that 64.
Yeah. For my dead homies.
Right. And, we thought we were the shit. And then I get into the military, and it's just like that upper, it's like drinking to the third,
Oh, of
fourth
course.
degree, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. I mean, my liver said, ¿qué
Yeah. I
pasó? ¿Qué es
remember
esto?
I was in Puerto Rico at this bar, and I didn't even know what to order. I'm there with, all these other sailors, and I'm like, I don't know anything about mixed drinks. I
Right,
don't
right.
know, right? And the first drink I ordered was one of my supervisors, my pay officers, and I was like, "What are you drinking?" He goes, "A Black Russian," and I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool." I go, "Let me get a Black Russian." Right? So I was like, I remember that was the first, like alcohol I had.
Yeah, something similar. Like I'm not used to. It was all beer. I wasn't used to hard
Mm,
liquor. But then
yeah.
we was in the barracks. It was somebody's birthday, so we
Mm-hmm.
went down to the Class 6, which is military Army term. I don't know if it's military, but Class 6 is Army terminology for liquor store.
Okay.
And they bought the biggest bottle of gin because it
Okay.
was all about Snoop Dogg and gin and
Yeah,
juice.
gin and
So
juice.
they got the
Yes.
big fucking gin, and we went back to the barracks, and we just got tore up, and I passed out in my room.
Wow.
Woke up the next morning. The music's banging. I stroll into somebody's room, and he was like, "Yo, you want some breakfast?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man." Yeah, and he threw me a beer.
Yeah.
He's like, "Welcome to the Army." I was like, "Holy shit!"
Wow.
And it
We
was
couldn't have we couldn't have alcohol on the ship, but we would sneak them in.
okay.
Stuff. Yeah. And
Nips,
I yeah,
the
and
little
I would at sea. I would have like a little jug, and I would just put it in there, and while we're
ones.
playing spades or
Ah,
whatever.
spades. Did you
Spades,
know?
yeah.
Did you know how to play spades before?
Never, no,
Never,
never.
never,
I never
never.
even heard of spades, yeah.
No,
But by the
but
time I finished, I was a spade freaking master.
it's a military. It's like you go. Okay, you shoot a rifle. You
Yes.
learn how to salute. You learn how to, and you
Yep.
got to play spades. It's like part of
Exactly. Yep.
the
Or
training.
Bidwiz. Bidwiz was another one.
No, I never played
Bidwiz
bid.
was an alternate spade. It's kind of like instead of spades being the books, like the
Right, right.
trump cards, they switch. Like one time it could be hearts. Hearts could be the trump card,
Okay.
and it's set. I think right before the you deal out.
Okay.
They
Yeah, yeah.
flip one over, and wherever that card
Okay.
is, that's the
Okay.
trump
Yeah, yeah.
card.
Like spades. Just
Yeah.
they change it. I
Mhm.
learned. I'll never forget. I learned how to play spades in the desert. My first, I got to my base after basic and infantry school. I got to Fort Hood in December,
Mhm.
so everybody went on Christmas leave. I just got there, so I didn't go anywhere. And my very first field training exercise was the Mojave Desert in January.
Wow.
Yeah, so I popped my cherry real quick. I was in
Yeah.
the infantry, a private, and how we roll is basically you get, you're the bottom rank, so you get treated like
Mhm.
shit until
Yeah.
you earn
Yes.
respect,
Mhm.
and the only way you earn it is you in the field. You do your thing in the field. You show up. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's like you got to be in the field. You got to go in the field, and to get that, it takes several field exercises because the field
Mhm.
can be a weekend, a week, 2 weeks here, 3 days there. So it takes a lot of time to earn that.
Yes.
But when we went to the deserts for a month, so that was like the biggest field exercise of the year in the
Mhm.
suck. Thank you. Yes, it
Yes.
is the fucking suck. So
Yep.
biggest exercise of the year. I'm in the Mojave Desert. We're training, and I was in the back of a 113 in the middle of the night, just crammed in there with a bunch of soldiers, and they're playing fucking spades. And I'm watching, and I'm learning. And it was an
Yeah.
NCO, a sergeant from Brooklyn, who was very
Uh,
nice. Who
uh,
was when I say he's nice, he was pissed
mm.
off because he's trying to play and I'm asking
Yeah.
questions, and then he became my partner and I was fucking
Yes.
up, and he was
Yeah.
cursing me out.
Oh yeah, of course. And sometimes they won't even let you play if you're into
Yeah,
their level.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
serious. It's
Serious.
serious.
The shit talking and so forth.
Mm.
Oh man.
It-
Same thing. I was like an apprentice state or spade player. Like you sit down here until you learn, and then we'll let you play.
I mean, God damn it. At the time, I don't, I guess we took it for granted, but I just, I don't know. I miss it. I don't miss the bullshit details. I don't miss the shitty jobs and the latrine, but I miss the guys. And I mean, like
It's
Jared
the
said,
camaraderie,
the camaraderie and being in
You
the
don't
suck.
you don't get that camaraderie out in the real world. It's different.
Yeah, and like I say, in the suck, but we're in the suck together.
Yes.
So it's that bond of being in the suck, and I kind of miss, especially in times like today. No disrespect to anybody, but I always felt like, once you're in the military, you're never a civilian again.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just a different mentality, like, it's
100%.
like, and just I miss the camaraderie and just the stupidness. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Soldiers.
And you can say things there to your fellow soldiers or shipmates or whatever it be that you can't say out in the real world because people's feelings will get hurt.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Totally cursing each other out.
Yes.
Cursing each other's mothers out and
everything. And I remember a friend of mine, great friend, and we're still in touch. He'll throw his hat on the floor. And he goes, "Oh, this is you, Concha," and you like dance around it.
Oh, forget about it.
Yeah, things like that, right?
Oh, forget about it. You were talking. You mentioned before about once you report to the military, how you get people from all over the country.
Yes.
And I thought that was so cool, especially for us. It was like extra special because you lived in Elmhurst, right?
Yes.
We both went to the same high school. Our neighborhood, Elmhurst, was like top neighborhood in the country as far as diversity, and so was our high school.
It's still,
and it's still, we had. I always love telling people about Newtown. I love sharing that we are the most diverse school in the country. Yes. I tell people, listen, just if you start at Mexico and then you look at Brazil, we have every single country in between represented.
Yes.
And then you go to Asia, we have them all. Yeah. Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, China, Japan, Korea. We even got North Koreans. They come over the border and come to Newtown.
Yeah.
We got them all.
We recruit them.
We get them all. We had the best soccer team. Our third string soccer team would be first string somewhere else.
Yes, exactly.
We had
a soccer player on here, right? Peanut still on? Yeah, there you go. Jay Figgs. I think he played soccer for Newtown.
It was ridiculous.
Right?
Yeah, soccer team was like you had an Ecuadorian and an African, and a European. It was like nuts. Yep. So to come from this diversity, which is very good for us, growing up. Yeah. But then you go to the Army, and there's this whole new blanket of diversity because now it's like Southerners. I remember basic training. You got the Southern boys, the country boys. I got to meet the other Mexicans, is what I like to say. The essays, essays that we used to see. We only saw them in the movies.
Yes.
Blood in and blood out. Remember? And American Me. Was it American Me? American.
Yeah, American Me.
American Me. Yeah, I got to see those guys. I was wow. I was like, and I tell people, I was like, listen, our Mexicans in New York are like 5'2", and they're all waiters. Yeah. And then we go in the military and they're 6'2". And
they don't understand the Mexican jokes that we tell them.
No.
We're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
They're working 3 jobs, all that other stuff,
No, because they're all Americanized, and a lot of them come from the West Coast. At that time was the big, East Side, West Side, and it was crazy. It was pretty fun. It was very interesting.
In boot camp one day, I was like, we just finished a class. One class was coming out, and I don't know what happened, but there was a kid who was in my company, and he was a gangbanger from Chicago, like a blood. And then there was these 2 Mexican guys who were from LA. They were about to fight, and I'm like in the middle, like, holy shit, Yeah. So they see each other and like they know,
Yeah.
Like their freaking signals cross and.
It was interesting as hell. We had Southerners, we had the country boys, we had Idaho, and the Mexicans, and it was nuts. But I really came to respect and admire the Mexicans from the West Coast because I was in Fort Hood, and as far as camaraderie and cohesion and coming together, nobody came together more than the Mexicans. They found each other in Fort Hood. They would find and they click. So it didn't matter. I mean, there was East LA.
Mm-hmm.
There were Califas, California, Arizona
Mm-hmm.
Mexicans, New Mexico, Mexican Americans, I should say. They were
Yeah.
born in America,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd find each other, and they had these big cookouts, and they rolled together.
Yeah.
Solid stand-up individuals.
Yeah.
Solid. Well, and I learned this because in my company, I used to roll with two Puerto Ricans, one
Mm-hmm.
from Philadelphia and one from Chicago.
Yeah.
So being from New York and Colombian background, we connected.
Yes.
We're East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
We're East
Yes.
Coast. So we used to roll. But then when we got a Mexican in our platoon, we hung out with him, and he took us to
Mm-hmm.
his people, and it was
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
gang.
And all of a sudden you're like, M.
Yeah, dude. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what it felt like. And but nothing but love. Here's the good. Nothing but love, respect. They roll tight. If here's the twist and the bad side, they would pop off in a heartbeat, in a millisecond. They'll fight in a drop of a dime.
Oh
And
yeah,
they did.
100%.
And we
Yep.
did. They looked out for each other. They didn't fuck around. There wasn't no hesitation. They wasn't, they were down like that, which was totally cool. Except at some point we got banned, or should I say they got banned from some clubs, and we're chasing, they're chasing girls and we can't get in.
Yeah.
And they got pegged because of the way they dressed. Because they had they used to rock a monkey. They had the little monkey and the socks, the white socks up to the knees. So they had their own. And they had with the khaki pants. So they had their dress code, and they were pegged easily. While me and my two Puerto Rican friends, we were dressed. We had the Tommies and the polos.
Yeah.
So we had that East Coast flavor. So we were able to.
The way they dressed over there, the Mexican, that's how the state prisons dressed.
Yeah.
So that's how that culture came.
Yeah.
For them
it was
to
some
wear
kind of
outside. Yeah.
Great bunch of guys. Just very fight. And the balls. And a funny story I'll never forget, because they, like I said, they will protect you. They will protect me. They will protect anybody. So if they're down, hey, so are we. And one time we were in the barracks, and one of the guys, the cholos, said, "Yo, one of our boys got beef at the club in town.
Yeah.
And let's go." So I look at my. He was trying to round up some guys. He couldn't get it. He only got like me, one of my Puerto Rican friends, and another guy. So it's like, fuck it, let's roll. We get to the club. We're in the parking lot. We think we're gonna throw down or some shit. And out come like several guys on the other side. Several. There's only like four of us, and there's several or 8 of them.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh shit, this is not good. But these guys don't care. So we're like, fuck it. But then me and my Puerto Rican friend from Philly, we start looking at these other guys.
Yeah.
And we're looking at them, and they're like, wait a minute. Those guys got Yankee hats.
Yeah.
And they're wearing these wooden cadenas, like the Puerto
Rican.
They got Puerto Rican flags.
Yeah.
And they got Timbs on. And I'm talking to boy Fig. I'm like, yo, Fig, that's our people. We're gonna fight our own people.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do we do? I'm like, what the fuck we're gonna do? We are where we are. Fuck it, And we thought we're gonna like this. This is odd. We're on the Mexican side, and we're about to go out against our own people on the East Coast. And the stupidest is we were all military, but we were all 18, 19, 20, alcohol, testosterone, very macho. And luckily, one guy spoke to the other guy. They went off to the side. They settled the beef, and we just broke it up, and nothing happened. Thank God. But it was a very weird moment.
Yeah, something similar almost happened to me. I was in Puerto Rico in Old San Juan. My ship pulled in, and I was at a bar with a friend of mine who is from Jersey, a Dominican kid, and sweet, nice guy, not a troublemaker or anything. But someone had left money on the bar. The bartender left the money for this guy. The guy was walking away. So as a nice guy, he grabbed the money and he tapped the guy. He goes, "Hey, your change." And the guy started beefing, just drunk. And he goes, "Don't touch my money," and blah blah blah. And the guy kind of got scared. So I stepped in. I was like, "Yo, chill." I go, he's just giving you your money back. You go, oh, you got a problem, and all of a sudden, all these Puerto Rican, start surrounding us, dude. It was like perfect timing. As soon as that happened, like 20 guys from my ship had just walked in, rolled in, and I was like, yo, Billy, can you get some help over here? And I hung out with a lot of big black guys in the Navy, right? And they all came over, and it was like a Mexican standoff. And then same thing, they wised up because we outnumbered them.
I mean, let me tell you, the military knows what they're doing when they're recruiting 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Young, dumb, full of cum, and the testosterone and the ego.
Of course. And you could just brainwash them and mold them how you want.
And they did. I mean, I was in the infantry, and God knows we were just, and at the drop of a dime. And the saying we had, train hard, party hard, drink hard, sex hard.
Yeah.
And it was a different lifestyle, but I always felt like it was another degree in the military. Like whatever I noticed is like the real world and the military world. And the military world had everything that the real world had, good, bad, and ugly, but at another level.
Another level, yes.
The sex, the drugs, the alcohol, you hear all this crazy shit. It's like, God damn.
The crazy part, like when an aircraft carrier would leave port, right? You're talking about 1,000 guys leaving all at once. You go to a club that night, and all the majority of the guys' wives and girlfriends are.
Yeah, I know where you're going. Oh my God, I know.
Crazy.
I heard those stories. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Or a sailor comes back after a 6 months deployment, and the wife 4 months pregnant, saying, "Oh, it's yours. It's yours."
Dog, I heard, dude. Like I said, we used to go on rotation. We used to go to the Mojave Desert for a month and my base was mechanized. So different parts of the bases were leave for a month. Everybody knew who was leaving. So everybody knew who was available. And hey, I'm not, the guys were wrong. Men are dogs. Yeah. But some of those females, you saw a spike at the clubs of these females for that 1 month, all of a sudden.
Of course, yeah.
There were spikes. It was, oh my God, Sucioville, yeah. Sucioville. It was like, oh my God, the stories, and it's a whole nother world. I mean, it was good times, lots of alcohols, but it's, thank God.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it because I traveled so much. I learned so much about the world, and like I've gone back to visit places where I've gone with the military. I visited Spain because I fell in love with it when the first time I went. So it's great. Learned a lot.
One of my best friends went to the Navy after high school too, but he got I don't know how he got a job in Wales or in Europe. He never set foot on a ship. So how crazy?
Maybe he was like a cryptech. Intelligence.
I don't remember, but I was like, how the fuck are you in the Navy and not on a ship? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, but you guys do travel, and I probably
we travel.
I probably would have considered it. Maybe I didn't know.
Yeah, that I passed out drunk and slept in the streets of Ireland.
Oh wow,
things like that. I was drinking. We went bar hopping, my buddy and I.
I passed out and slept in the streets of Sunnyside. That's the closest to Ireland. Sunnyside on the 7 train.
Yeah. You know what happens is you grew up in New York where everything's open 24 hours and you get used to that, and you're new to the world, and all of a sudden, it's not like New York where trains are running at all times of the day.
Dog,
and
I didn't know that the rest of the country last call was at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? And that's why we hit the club at 9. I'm like, yo, in New York, we're rolling in at midnight. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
11 is early. But I saw the hours were different. I remember one time we were hanging out, and last call was at 2. And we still wanted to drink. And somebody was like, yo, I know a beer spot. I'm like, what the fuck is a beer spot? Yeah, I know a beer spot. We went into some suburban neighborhood. knocked on some old man's door, took us to his garage, and sold us beer out of his garage. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? This is. I'm like, really, really? This is, and it's all on the down low. I'm like, dude, we do this with crack in New York, and you got beer spots.
Beer
it was kind of corny. It was kind of, but I was like, whatever. We're in Texas, I guess. But I didn't know. I didn't know. But it was hilarious. It was totally hilarious.
How was your transition from the military out to civilian life?
It was easy because I got out of active, but I was in the Guard.
Okay.
So I was still doing 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. Because it's like, I knew, it was weird. I knew the military wasn't for me as a career, but I still liked it. And I didn't mind doing it part-time. So I stayed 8 years altogether. Yeah. So 4 in Fort Hood. And then I came home and did 4 in the National Guard, all infantry. And
which is 11?
Yeah, 11. I was 11. Yeah, 11 Mike. In Fort Hood, I was 11 Mike, which was mechanized infantry in the back of a Bradley fighting vehicle.
Okay.
And then when I came home, I was 11 Bravo, straight leg infantry.
Straight leg infantry.
Yeah, and I don't know, because I don't know how you feel, because it's like, I guess it bugged me because I got out in the spring of 01 was my when my and a couple of months after that was 9/11, and it was kind of weird because here I am volunteering for the infantry. And, you know, I knew what I was getting into. It was just what I felt was right and what I wanted to do. And I volunteered. You know, I only signed up for 2 years. That was my initial 2 years. Then I signed up for 2 more, and then 2 more. So I knew what I was getting into, but 8 years of training, and then I get out, and then the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, I was already a federal agent when 9/11 happened.
Okay.
And I responded to the World Trade Center. You know.
So you was in the shit. Yeah. Okay, you were in the
yeah.
Yeah. You see, that always kind of stings. 8 years, I fell in between the wars. Because I was after Desert Storm, but before 9/11. And I'm like, everyone says, oh my God, you're lucky, you're blessed. And it's like, but it's kind of fucking weird because you train for something and then there it is, but you're not there. And it's like, it's like a football player who retires and next year his team goes to the Super Bowl. And you're like,
Super Bowl,
and you're on the couch like, what the fuck?
Like freaking,
Which federal agency do you work for?
Pass.
Pass. Okay. All right. It's federal.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
federal. You have a gun and you have a badge.
Yeah. Yes.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, for security and safety purposes, Raul will be protecting certain parts of his personal life for his and his family's safety. For example, his name. Obviously, most of us who are here watching know you're not Seashell. But we'll keep it at Seashell. Seashell by the seashore.
Seashore, exactly.
Listo. All right, cool.
Yeah. No, I just I do warrants. I serve warrants right now on people who who are being sought after by their country. Like it's called red label.
Okay.
A red notice. Sorry, and they'll be here in the United States and their country like, my guy's he's wanted for something and we're looking for him and he's living, wherever in New York City. Can you find him? So we do that. Warrants from other states and so forth. But that's what I'm doing now. Like I've done drug cases. I've done gangs. I did when MS-13 was big, starting off, and I was in California. I worked out of there, and so I've done cases over there, like RICO type cases. You know what RICO statute?
Yeah, the RICO. It's it's like if you can if everyone falls under the same umbrella, so you take everybody down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though you're doing these petty little crimes here and there,
you fall under the
scope. In the scope of everything, yes.
Right.
I've done investigations on people who distribute or make child pornography.
Ouch.
I've done a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you transition from the Navy to federal right away, or was there a gap?
No, I came out a short gap. I came out and I went to John Jay.
Okay.
I studied criminology, and while I was there, I applied to NYPD. I did well in an exam, and I applied for the federal agent. When you come out of the military, did you get that form where it says, "Oh, do you still want to work for the government?"
No.
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 They sent me this form, and I like anything that had to do. I've always wanted to be in law enforcement since I was a kid. So I just checked off all the marks with anything that sounded law enforcement.
Right.
And while I was going to John Jay, I get a call. And actually, yes. And then it took a while for the process to go through because they, investigate, do a background check, talk to your neighbors, talk to whoever, and then, but I was still young, and I just
good for you that you landed with a federal agency and not the NYPD.
Yes.
Because I just like you, I wanted to be in law enforcement too. That's why, and I initially NYPD was the first thing that came to my mind. That's what, and NYPD, the requirements were 2 years of college and 2 years of service. At the time, I went to Queensboro, but in those days, I was such a knucklehead. Again, 40 ounces, running around. There may have been a stolen car or two. That's another story. And I wasn't having it with college, so I said, I need to get out of here. So that's why I enlisted for 2 years, thinking I'm going to do 2, come back, and then I'll go PD. It just so happens that when shortly right after, while I was in basic training, literally basic training, drill sergeants in my face, I got a call that I was going to be a father. So that was a twist.
Wow.
Surprise.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I graduated from infantry school,
it makes you grow up a lot faster.
Dude, in the middle of basic training, dude, it's like I'm 20, and I became a soldier, a father, and a husband in 4 months. Just like that. It was like boom, boom, boom. Yeah. I mean, she was my girlfriend, and we were in love, and we weren't going to break up or anything. But it so happens, I had called home, and I'm like, sweetheart, how are you? And she's like, oh, you left a package. I'm like, I didn't leave a package. She's like, yeah, you did. And I left the package.
Wow.
And then
That's
when
awesome.
after I graduated, immediately came, and we got married. And then
speaking of that, my daughter's on now. Hi, Munchkin. Raw content.
Oh, hey. How many kids do you have?
2. I have my daughter, and I have a son. He's 19, and she's 24, I believe.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine are 22 and 26.
Wow. Good.
Yeah. Totally.
You're hi, Dad.
And so I became a father, and I ended up going 2 years, 4 years, and then when I got back, I applied for the PD, but there was a waiting period. You know how they are.
Yes.
And I actually got into loss prevention, which was retail loss prevention. So my friend was like, listen, if you want to catch bad guys, why don't you catch shoplifters? And one thing led to another, and I kind of moved up the ladder that way. And
I did a case. Remember they have those boosters crews who come in and steal the whole rack. Yeah.
Hit and run. It's a hit and run. Hit and run.
Yeah. In California, you start reaching out to like doing outreach programs, and we had someone from the Gap come in, and they're like, look, we always had the same crew come in, and we did, they'll hit all these shops, and right before the holiday season they will always go. So they started giving us the people that they catch. Sometimes they'll catch one, but they won't give them up.
Right. And
we did a whole operation, and we took a bunch of them off the streets, and they're organized, very, very organized.
As a matter of I actually moved up the chain. I started working in a store, and eventually ended up on a task force, national task force, for the organized retail crime. What happens at the store level is peanuts. There's an actual. It's like organized. So I went from catching $50 shoplifters, $100
Mm-hmm.
shoplifters, to my first case was $70,000.
Wow, good stuff.
My first, yeah, it was a couple. Her scope of impact was like 30. His scope was 40. Together, it was a $70,000 case I prosecuted in Nassau County. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was a whole other level to this theft.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they're rings, and it's
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous. I worked on a $100,000 case. I had my partners. We covered New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and a piece of Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
and South in Philadelphia. So we used to go to each other's territories and help. Yo, it was pretty. It was, dude. It was cool as fuck. They gave me a laptop, night vision, fucking cameras, radio,
Yeah.
two-way pager, Nextel,
Yeah.
and part of my case was first I had to identify who the people were. I had to get their plates, and once I called in their plates, I got their address, I got their neighbors' numbers, I found out where they work. I had to do surveillance. I had to sit on their house. I had to sit on their job. I had to put together the case so I can present.
Saying who's who.
Yeah.
How the money's moving.
Yeah, the detectives loved us. Because for them, they got credit for the case, but we're the ones who put it together.
You go there, you put the case together, like here.
Yep, yeah, and then you go, okay, what is this? All right, here's the scope of impact. Here's how they did it. Here's who did it. Here's exhibit A. Here's the merchandise from A, and they turn it into B, and then they get C. And here they're doing it multiple times. And here's the video of them buying it. Here's the video of them returning, and they're like, okay, cool. We're gonna issue a warrant, and we're gonna go pick them up. I'm like, all right, awesome. It was pretty. I was like, I fell into that. I wanted to be a law enforcement, but I was actually pretty good at it. I had a good time, but unfortunately, one thing led to another, and my law enforcement career went down the toilet. The probable career, because I got arrested for some shit, and that killed it.
Happens.
It killed it. And I succeeded with loss prevention, and I changed companies, and then I didn't like it after a while because every company's different.
Yeah.
And then one day I kind of woke. I mean, I did retail loss prevention, corporate security, nuclear security, club security. So I did. I was in the security realm.
Yeah.
I had a nice resume. And just one day, I broke up with the wife. I had a girlfriend, broke up with her. Then I found myself in a weird place, and I was like, "What? I can't be a cop. What else is there?"
Yeah.
And then I remembered, I had this other dream a long time ago, and that's where the stand-up comedy. Yeah.
That's awesome. And it feels like guys from our neighborhood, just the way we grew up with always telling jokes and so forth, is kind of natural for us, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what, you ever played a dozen? You ever played
Yeah,
all the time, right? That was like normal for us. Like when I get together sarcasm. Actually Jesse's on right now. I've known him since kindergarten, and it's just normal, course of business. When my kids would see it, they're like, who are you guys? You guys are like children, but just constant,
we're in a different generation.
Different generation.
And we grew up in the New York City public school system. I mean, we came up in the 80s and 90s. Okay, we saw AIDS, we saw crack, we saw, we had our own epidemic. We had crime, we had fucking cocaine, we had, fucking everything. And in New York, it was just like that. What elementary did you go to?
PS 89.
Oh, you were 89 kid. Okay.
Yeah, right. 89. 89 and 73?
Yeah, we were in 73 together. We didn't.
73, because we were in the band together.
Right. With Ramon.
I played the tenor sax.
Right, and in Newtown too.
And actually in Newtown, I didn't get to Newtown until my junior year. My first 2 years, I was in aviation high school.
What happened with that?
Too many fights.
Really?
And not that I started any fights. It's just, the Alphabet City gang at the time, right? Everything was neighborhoods and so forth.
Yeah.
and at that time, that area was what's the freaking gang out there? Um,
Because
what's the wood side?
I know they had it was aviation and Queens Vacational, so there was always
Yeah,
beef.
yes, all the time.
The beef, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
and
It's funny you left aviation because of fights, and you came to Newtown because Newtown's
yeah,
safer.
it's
Because
safer.
Newtown's so much
TA7.
safer.
Remember the
TA7.
crew?
Oh shit, yeah, yeah, TA7.
Yeah, all the time there was fights and so forth.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
and that
hilarious.
time you had to be slick. You had to know which neighborhoods are down with what neighborhood. So if you ever get stopped and asked, it's like you have to run through your freaking little matrix of who's down with who.
Yeah, it was like there was TA7, there was Down to Crash, there was Young Corona
DTC,
Crashers, there was
yeah,
78th Street Boys,
YCC, 78th Street Boy,
YCC,
NOC,
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 Van
and
Cleek,
Elmer's Troopers.
Elmhurst Troopers, the
Oh,
Decepticons.
we have a DTC girl on, Jessie
East New York used to come
from
down to
Corona.
Queens. Okay, yeah, there was like everywhere we went, everybody was. It was mayhem. It was like you had to be careful.
Yeah,
And yeah, I told my kids they got it good. My kids went,
yeah,
they went to Forest Hills High School, and
yeah.
I don't think you can compare. But it's sad
Yeah.
looking back. But yeah, in our school in Newtown, I mean, somebody was dying every year at least.
Yeah. Do you
Uh,
remember the kid got shot in the belly? The kid got killed in the belly there
he was
where
stabbed.
you
I think.
stabbed, yes.
Yeah, he went to
Then
73 and he was stabbed in
yeah,
the middle. They were cutting class.
yeah. And then my friend Evo was stabbed outside Newtown because he had gotten mugged, or they tried to mug him like for New Year's. And then he saw one of the guys who tried to mug him, and he was by himself, so he kicked his ass. Then that kid went to go grab some bigger guys. Then they came down, and they went up to my friend and Evo. He was a year older than us, and he's like, "Oh, you have beef with my friend?" And this is like a man standing there, and I'm thinking he was gonna say something along the lines of, "Yeah, but I don't have a problem with you. It's just,
Yeah,
like try to explain his
yeah,
way out."
yeah.
But his words were, "Yeah, what the fuck's your problem?" I'm like, here we. So he got punched, and then I punched that guy who punched him, and he fell down, and he reached into his coat, and he pulled out something shiny. I just saw something shiny. I'm like, he got a gun! Run! That you have to think of things like that at that age. But I always said I would never run with the crowd because you can't,
Yeah,
speed. Run the opposite direction.
right.
So I ran the opposite direction. Obviously, my friend Evo didn't think of that. He ran with the crowd, and he couldn't run because there were so many people in his
It's funny.
way, and
It's
he ended up getting stabbed.
that mentality. That you see that mentality. You don't run this way. You run that way because you can obviously.
Yes,
Do you teach your kid? I teach my kids how to
I teach
stand
my
on a
kids that.
train, what to look
How to
for,
sit in a restaurant.
how to
I always
face
sit
the door,
looking at the door.
face the door because if anything pops off, it's going to come in through that door.
At night when you're walking, don't stand close to the walls. Cut corners.
Yeah, I
Like
told
tactical walking.
I told my son, you know what? When I walk through the neighborhood, I like walking down the middle of the street with in the middle of the street, more room. I like my space.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
You don't. The
Exactly.
sidewalk
Yeah.
is tight, and you get cornered.
Yeah.
I instruct my kids to carry a pen in their pocket because it's a go-to weapon. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a
Exactly.
go-to weapon. I mean, yeah, because my son looks at me like I'm stupid, and I'm like, no,
Mhm.
this is New York. We're safer. Well, before the pandemic, we're safer than we've ever been before, but it's still a metropolis.
Exactly.
Shit.
But my kids know how to fight. I've taught them how to fight since
Yeah, shit. Yeah,
young age. Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while, but growing up, my
Yeah.
daughter, I've actually yoked her from
Oh, yeah.
behind because I wanted to know what it feels
Yeah.
like because they prey on
Mhm.
women and they prey on fear. So if you
Yeah.
know what it feels like, you know how to react. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
I've actually,
And teaching them things like, they're gonna try to take you. You have your fight there because the chance of you surviving where they take you somewhere else was, more secluded, goes
Yeah,
down and you're done.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know
It's the way we came up. How to walk.
exactly. Scratch eyes, everything, anything goes.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I instruct them keep a pen. Keep a
Yeah,
pen because you can
exactly.
stab
Yep,
somebody with a pen. It's not
exactly.
And it's funny because back in the day we grew up. It's like everybody was holding something. Everybody was. I mean, I
I used
remember.
to have I used to have a mallet in my jacket, and it was just the sign of the times. And I remember I was with my friend Jesse, who was just on, and we were walking, and some guy tries to come up to us to take our jackets,
Yeah,
and I was like Thor, and he was like, "Oh no, no, no!"
yeah.
You know?
I told my kids back in the day they used to take sneakers. They used to take
Hmm.
coats, the sheepskins,
Yeah,
the bombers. Oh,
yeah,
the caps. When
yeah,
when that shit was hot. If you had a hot cap, your starter jacket.
yeah.
It was
Exactly.
like
Your stars. Like,
Jesus.
"Hey, let me try on. Let me try on. See if it fits me.
Yo, what size
See
are
ya.
you? What
What
size
size
are
are
you?
you?"
What size are
Yeah.
you? And it's like, oh God, I know what's next.
Yep.
And I got my hat snatched at a White
Yeah.
Castle. Some of we're ordering White Castle, and there's like 3 or 4 of us, and then there's 10 of them. They just roll in
Hmm.
like a
Yeah.
train, and they just snatch shit and then exit the other way.
One day I was with my friend Oscar, who lived in my building. His younger brother Christian, my younger cousin Georgie. We're walking from that pizzeria on 90th. You know, the one that was right under the train when
Yeah,
you walk
yeah,
down the
yeah, yeah,
steps.
yeah.
We're walking there. We're walking down Whitney, and a van pulls up, full with heads, and all I hear is, "Yo, who you down with?" We're kids, right? I was probably the oldest, and I was probably like 13, right? And I'm like, "We're not down with anyone," right? And boom, they start rolling out. So I'm like, "Run!" We start running, and all of a sudden, I'm like running by myself, and the van's coming up next to me. So we're streetwise. I just freaking turn
Yeah,
back, and all of a sudden, I hear. They crash into a parked car because they try to stop so quick.
right.
And you have so many people in the car that the car has the actual weight distribution is
Right.
off. They crashed in, so I ran up like Denman, I think it was, and I roll under a car, and I'm under the car, and then I look down, and my friend Oscar's under another car, his brother's under another car, and
Yeah.
we're all like hiding there. We stayed there for like an hour. I guess it's safe to come out now. Just crazy shit like that. That
Yeah,
kids shouldn't have to,
yeah, but
grow up.
then
Yeah.
some of us got even more stupid, and instead of
Hmm.
like, I mean, that happened by accident. You didn't look for
Hmm.
problems. That happened by
Yeah.
accident. But some of us
Yeah.
started doing criminal shit and got chased by the cops,
Yeah.
and yeah, and some of or some of us got shot at. When I mean some of us, just
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, some of us. There was just a couple of incidents. Doing stupid shit, riding around other people's neighborhoods, taking shit, and next thing you know, we're getting chased by 2 cars and we're getting shot at.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then one time, God, I bet you if I name everybody who was there, I know I don't want to shout them out, but you probably know half the people, if not
Hmm.
everybody, I was with this one particular night that
Wow.
we got rolled up by the cops and everyone scattered like roaches. Then there was a helicopter. Cops were everywhere,
Oh man.
and then we spent the rest of the night hiding and trying to find each other
Hmm.
because everyone
And there's no
just
cell
scattered.
phones back then. There's no cell phones back
No, it was a
then, right?
beeper, 911. Yeah, we just
Yeah, that one
we
beeper.
yeah we knew
Write
all this.
messages upside down.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we knew the location to the pay phones. So we
Yes.
started beeping. So we scattered, we hid, and then we spent the next fucking night or the rest of the night getting a head count
Hmm.
of everybody because this was one of those stupid idea nights.
Hmm.
Somebody needed rims or somebody needed tires, and we went like 2 cars in a van. There was like several, maybe 8 of us. It was so whatever stupidity in numbers,
Hmm.
and it was just scattered and one person got caught. One person, and that person, it was hilarious. got caught, and he wasn't even a part of us. He had
Wow.
just got back. He lived in, I don't want to drop names, but he lived in the building behind Macy's, Target, the whole Target behind the, and he had just got back from a cruise ship vacation with his family. He just got back that day from vacation. He just bumped into one of the cars, and they were like, "Yo, what's up?" And like, "Where you going?" And like, "Yo, come on." He just joined us.
Yes.
But at the end, when the cops showed up and everyone scattered, he was the one to get caught. But he kept his mouth shut.
Oh, did he? That was my next question.
No, he kept his mouth shut. They let him go. He's got in trouble with his parents. You know, it was a pat on the.
Where did you grow up around? In Elmhurst? What area?
By Grand Avenue, John's Pizzeria.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
You're way up there. Grand Avenue.
Yeah,
Grand
a little
Avenue.
bit up, right across from Van Cleek.
Okay, Van Cleek. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was
Van Cleek Street Boys.
Yeah, VK Boys. When I was in '73, I lived in Corona.
Okay.
I actually went to Louis Armstrong Elementary for a year.
Oh, smarty.
Well, that was the elementary, not the junior high school. Whatever.
The gifted.
Yeah, here's my gift. So, yeah, so when I was in Corona, I went to 73, and then we actually moved to the neighborhood, and I went to Newtown.
Okay, I lived always in the same place. You know where the hill is?
Yeah.
Right over the hill, Lamont Avenue.
Okay, Lamont. Yeah.
Yeah, which was the first building.
Shout out to 227. I see the 220. Somebody threw up the 227. I was 143. I was 143.
She went to Newtown too.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was 143. And then from 143, 73, and then Newtown.
Yeah, I was PSA 9, 73.
Yeah.
Aviation, Newtown.
Oh, aviation. Shit.
Yeah.
It was. I got into. As a matter of fact, I wasn't supposed to go to Newtown. I actually was supposed to go to John Adams.
Okay.
I got accepted. I was supposed to go, but when we had that initial, what's that called? A little briefing before the school year starts to get to know the school or whatnot. I didn't know how far it was. I never realized how far, and it was bumblefuck far. My mother started complaining, and I was like, "Fuck! I think I made a mistake." And we just so happened to be cutting through Newtown, and as we were passing Newtown, I saw Aziz. You remember Aziz?
I remember Aziz. Yeah, I remember Aziz.
Yeah, we were tight, and I saw him, and it was like, "Yo," and he's like, "Yo, we just had our briefing, blah blah blah," and yo, blah blah blah. He goes, "Yo, you should come," and I was like, "Yeah, I should." So I told my mom, "Go pull over. Let's go. Let's get me in Newtown," and we went inside, and because it was zoned, it was automatic, so I didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
And I almost got sent to the annex. They was like, "Okay, you can come to Newtown, but you're not going to come to the main building. You have to go to the annex because you're late."
Yeah. Oh.
And I was like, "Okay, whatever." And then I asked one little question that totally changed everything. I said, "By the way, is there a band in the annex?"
Yeah.
I happen
to be a established trumpet player.
Dude, I wasn't even. I mean, technically, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't a big time trumpet player, nothing like that. I just happened to ask, and she's like, "You play an instrument?" I'm like, "Yeah." "How long?" Since the 4th grade, so 4 years. And she looked at me and was like, "Wait 1 minute." And she got on the phone. I guess she had called Mr. Shanae because he was the band. And she was like, "You know what? We have a spot open."
Oh.
And I got to the main building. I was like, "Yeah, mother! I can't believe fucking playing a trumpet saved my ass."
You have been with the ESL kids.
Yeah, because it was all English first, English second language, and like late transfers, late submissions, and ESL.
You have been coming out with your yellow sneakers.
Yeah.
And your tight jeans.
Yeah. So I got lucky, and they put me in the band right away, and I got in the main building. So I lucked out. But it was Newtown was interesting to say the least. I mean, a lot of shit went down.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, I remember my mother being worried. She was like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." But yeah, we got lucky.
Yeah. In Newtown, I think they did back then a horrible job at helping kids go into college and so on, like that transition. Unless you were part of their
Stellar,
stellar crew,
upper
if you're
echelon.
Asians,
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause I remember walking into my guidance counselor. I was like, "Look, I want to go to college. Where are my options?" The pamphlets are over there. I'm like, "Really?" Like,
True that.
and that's why it's easier for the recruiters to hang out there like vultures.
Yeah.
And if you can, you know.
And that's the one thing. You really had to be a kid with his head on straight and super smart to be taken seriously. Like, yeah, I guess they didn't really open their arms to everyone who needed it.
Yeah.
If you were of, you know, top class, honors class, yeah, they took care of you because they judged you. Oh,
yeah,
she's in honors, you know, she's getting her you know, all her 90s and shit. So yeah, obviously, but they're not going to talk to the rest of us. I didn't even study for my SATs. I never even prepared.
I didn't take my SATs until I got into the military.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
At least they probably set you up. I walked in and took it, like with no studying, no preparing. I had no idea. Jesus, it was horrible. I couldn't believe I was overwhelmed. I've never been overwhelmed like that. Yeah, and it was just ridiculous. And on top of that, I was so not a good student. They told me when I was a sophomore, yeah, you're not graduating on time. I'm like, I'm only a sophomore. No, we can see it. I had to go to summer school twice and night school my whole senior year, I think, in night school.
Yeah.
In Jamaica.
I went to summer school once. I only failed one class, and out of all the stupid classes I could fail, gym. Because it was the first period, and I would get there late, or, you know, it was just, you don't want to freaking overexert in the first period, then you're going through the whole day.
Yeah.
Freaking sweaty, nasty. There was no showers.
Yeah, actually, that happened to me too. Gym was the only class I enjoyed most of the time, and I always passed it. But for some stupid reason, last semester, I ended up failing it because, I don't know, just out of stupid luck, I forgot my uniform one too many times, or I was late, or whatever. I never missed gym. I always enjoyed gym. But for some stupid reason, I had a stroke of bad luck, and I was going to fail it until one of the gym teachers says, you know, you can make it up. He goes, he found out I was in a video squad.
Yeah. Oh,
and it was the softball coach, and he goes, I want you to videotape my girls because I want to watch the film. And if you do that after school, blah blah blah, extra credit, I'll pass you. I was like, yeah, man, I'm down.
All right.
So
I wrestled in high school. I wrestled in Newtown. I was on a wrestling team there.
How was that?
It was good. Actually, a funny story because Mr. Brooks, he was the
science. I had him for science.
Yeah, that giant. I ran into him a few years ago.
I used to make fun of him.
My son, you know,
because every time he wrote on the chalkboard, it looked like he was flexing.
Yes.
Like his muscles and.
You know, so. Even though my son didn't grow up in the hood or anything like that, I had to, you know, try to toughen him up.
Yeah.
And he got into the contact sports, and he did great. He's a wrestler. And in high school, they have like what's called alumni night for wrestlers. And this school was having their alumni night that he was his fighting against, or they're wrestling against. And I'm sitting there, and then they called out Mr. Brooks to the stage. And I'm like, that guy looks like my wrestling coach. And my dad and my son's like, really? Whatever, you know. Sure enough, the guy, Mr. Brooks, passes me. I'm like, Mr. Brooks, Newtown Wrestling, and he looks at me, like, remember you? And boom, we were freaking chatting there. It was good to see him. He was doing well. Yeah,
a lot of teachers stayed there. Like they were like there. It's weird because they were there before us. They're there after us.
Yeah,
they ended up fucking retiring. It was nuts.
Funny. One of the teachers who's do you remember Joey Lopez? Joe Lopez. Joseph Lopez.
Yeah.
His mom is a teacher.
Yeah, right. She English.
Right. Sandra. Yes, she wants to come on your show one day and do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she was messing with me. She was, when is he gonna interview a teacher from Newtown? Because she's a hoot.
No, no, I remember her. I remember. I never had
Yeah,
her. I didn't know her personally. I just remember.
yeah.
Actually, when I was in junior high school, I had gotten kicked out of S because I was in
Hmm.
SP class.
Yes.
How that happened, I still
Hmm.
don't know. But I actually ended up because I was doing badly and I got kicked out in the eighth grade, and I ended up in Joey's class in
Okay.
the eighth grade. So I was
I
with him.
still hang with Joey.
How's he doing?
He's doing really well. He's doing really well. He works for Social Security Administration. He
Okay.
runs like the building over there in Jamaica, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know the
yeah,
Social
yeah. I know
Security.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ooh.
he has three beautiful kids. I got him into jujitsu, and then his kids do jujitsu. They were my students for a while. You know.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
right. Your jujitsu. I was
yeah,
considering it for a while because I want to work
dude.
out.
Let me tell you, I've done martial arts my whole life. I started as a young kid with judo. I did kung fu. I wrestled, and I've done Muay Thai. Did Muay Thai for a while.
Wow. Muay Thai fucking hurts. I've seen that shit. Say again. You coming in broken. Oh shit. Mm-mm. Check your Wi-Fi. Maybe it's Instagram. Maybe they don't want us. They're cock blocking. Instagram is cock blocking me. Or it's the Wi-Fi. I don't know what it is. But yeah, check off. Sign off and sign back on if you have to. Sometimes the Wi-Fi does that. I can see you, but I can't hear you. I think what Instagram is trying to give us a message. We're taking too long. Either that, or they just don't like Newtown. I wish you could help. I'm a technological idiot, and I blame Newtown. It sounds like you're on mute because I can see you, but I can't hear you. Did you hit the mute button? Either that, sign off, or sign back on. Gotta love technology. 2020. We're talking to each other. I mean, I don't think anybody could fathom this in 1991 that we'd be talking to a fucking telephone in a fucking palm of our hand, but now we got video. And we're still complaining. I can see you, but I can't hear you. You must have Spectrum. I need either, you got to get Fios. You got to get that Fios shit. That's the good shit. That's what I'm going to keep saying. I got Spectrum. I'm going to be changing real soon. Ooh, shout out to Miss Powers and the video squad. Oh, shit. Yeah, Miss Powers. I had a good time. I had her for 2 years. I think, was it 2 years? It was fun. It was actually one of those classes you kind of, I liked going to, and you learned some shit. I always felt bad because I gave her a hard time. I was one of those students, pain in the ass. But she always let me play around with the cameras and learn some editing and shit. And we went on we went on a trip or two. And she used to let me hang out there. Sometimes I didn't want to go home, so I'd stay late and she'd let me hang out in the class. I used to actually, I think my my girlfriend at the time used to do extra credit for her in her class, and I used to come see her, and then we'd be in the video squad room and I kissy face. Oh yeah, oh shit, okay, yeah. If she was just cool like that, like you could show up. If she wasn't having an official class, you could just show up and hang. You could just show up. I know, yeah, it was like my girlfriend at the time. Yeah, I think it was her because I was a senior, she was a sophomore. And yeah, she was in class doing her thing, and I just show up because I was a senior and I was already off. And we'd be in the classroom by ourselves and kissy face, just kissy face. That was our alone time in the video squad room. So yeah, so shout out to Miss Powers. Yeah,
sorry, a call
we were
broke
just
me off.
reminiscing about kiss. We just reminiscing and about kissy facing in Newtown.
Oh man,
Did you kissy face? Did you go up in the stairway? Did you go up in the dead end stairways or those little?
No,
Yo,
no.
there was like a lot of places
never,
where you could hook up.
I was when I got to Newtown. You know any of that? I was very. I got out of class early. I worked. I had wrestling. You know, it was. I never got to do any kissy face.
No kissy face. No nothing. No, because there was a lot of stairways, little corners, and dead ends and shit. And the fifth floor, where the band was always empty and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. I guess I was the sucio then. I was the only. I was my senior year. My senior year. I was a sucio. You know, so it was all good. My girlfriend at the time was a flute player. Needless to say, she blew me away. Oh, thank you very much. I'll be here all night.
Oh,
a lot of stairways.
Whoa. Someone just wrote a lot of stairways.
Yeah, man. There was if you wanted time alone with your sweetheart.
A lot of stairways.
Yeah, a lot of stairways. A lot of stairways have a lot of stories. Yeah, you just go to the bathroom and then you go to your girlfriend or your boyfriend's class and be like, yo. And then you holding hands in the hallway and find a stairway and kiss your face for a few minutes, and then you have to go back to class. Yes, Newtown was a very sucio school, very sucio. We were ahead of our time.
Yeah.
I don't know if kids. I tons of note passing. Yeah, I actually have a joke about that.
Tons of note passing.
Passing notes. Actually, one of my jokes that I do on stage is about that. It's about, it's just basically a comparison of the technology today versus us passing notes back in the day. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. Of course. It's not the same. Back in the day, we passed love letters. Now you got boys dick picking girls.
Everything
it's like different. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's different times.
Before you had to come to my house, knock on my door to call me an asshole.
Yeah. I talk about. Yeah, we used to play a game back in the day. It was called Going Outside. Remember Going Outside? It was like we just went outside and did shit. Everyone's indoors. Yeah. I call it the finger generation. That's all they do with their fingers. The social media and then the video games.
And with the pandemic now, it's worse. Everyone's
how you been holding up with the pandemic?
You know what? One of the first ones in New York to get tested for COVID, even though I haven't gotten it yet. But I was back in February. I was in Kazakhstan and I was on my way to Kazakhstan. I stopped in Germany. Then I was in Kazakhstan. Then I flew back through London Heathrow, and then when I came back to the States, this is when it first starts to come out, and I went to jiu-jitsu and I started feeling like crap, and I'm like, oh shit, don't tell me I got this freaking COVID stuff. And so the next day, information available. Calling my doctor, they're like, yeah, we don't know what to do. I'm calling the those clinics, the the CMD. We don't know what to do. I call up the hospital, and some receptionist was like, yeah, you have to go to your doctor. I said, look, I've been bounced around already. Let me speak to someone from the ER. So they put me through the ER, and one of the nurses picks up, and I was like, look, I just traveled from overseas. I see that the countries that I traveled to are on this list of.
Yeah, they're lined up. Yeah.
Yes.
You basically took the Corona route. You took the Corona route back home.
Yes, back home, exactly. So they're like, okay, how long is it gonna take you to get to the hospital? And I was like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Dude, I show up and it's like a movie from a scene from the movies They're all in their hazmat suits waiting for me.
Damn.
Here, patient 0.
Wow.
You know,
Look at, wow.
they're like, park the car way over there. You know, and
Wow.
then I came
So
in.
you were
They put me in.
you were one of the, you were
Yeah,
like way in the beginning.
way in the beginning. So I stayed in the hospital for 6 hours, and because they really didn't know what to
And there
do.
was no testing. There was no.
They had to do. They did a chest X-ray, right?
Right.
And the chest X-ray came back clear because it attacks the lungs, right? Then
Yes.
they did a swab for regular flu, right?
Right.
To see if I had the regular flu, and I didn't have that. And but I didn't have it. I did antibodies later and so forth. It was just
Okay.
it must have been like the fatigue or the
Yeah. The
traveling just
jet
in
lag,
general,
and all that shit. Wow. That was
jet lag and
damn.
all this shit. Yeah,
A lot of people.
yeah.
I mean, we're in Queens. We're in New York. We saw Elmhurst Hospital literally,
Mhm.
explode with patients and everything. And we
Yeah.
actually just
Yeah,
recently,
my aunt passed away.
oh wow, we lost a
Yeah.
comedian just a couple of weeks ago. I just saw him in August at a performance
Wow.
at Foxwoods or Mohegans, one of those
Wow.
casinos I did it over the summer. I just saw him, and he just passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
The shit is real.
Wow.
The shit is real. I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
It's real, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember
Anybody who says it's not.
the first couple of months I was like working out like a beast. I was like, oh, I'm gonna work out, and I had nothing else to do, just quarantine home, eat right, work out, and then all of a sudden it just starts lagging and dragging on, and
Yeah, it got tight. It got tight
but
for me too. It was like I actually had a checkup. I had a checkup with my at the VA over the phone, and at the time it was the spring. And she asked me, how are you? Yeah, what's going on? I'm like, well, we're shut down. I'm on unemployment, and just like everybody else, and all that good shit. And she goes, are you gonna go back to work? I'm like, yeah. This was me in the spring. I'm like, yeah. Somewhere September, October, we should be out of it. I'll go back to work. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, how are you financially? And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, are you doing okay with unemployment? She goes, are you okay with your unemployment? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm fiscally responsible. And she was like, good. Because if you're okay, don't go back to work. Wait it out. Because I was already on the, I was on the Corona hit list with pre-existing conditions. I was like pre-diabetic because I'm a Pudge. I had a little bit of asthma, and I have high blood pressure. The only thing I didn't have was elderly, but that's coming soon. So she was like, listen, wait it out. Just wait it out. I'll write you a letter, wait it out, whatever. Don't go back. You don't want to take the risk. And I immediately started working out and exercising. I lost 30 pounds. I actually went up, and then I had to drop back down. Yeah, still working on it. And I was actually thinking about
I should try jiu-jitsu, bro.
But they're not open. They're not open, right?
In Long Island, there's smaller classes and stuff like that. It's still, just wait out until you get the vaccine, whatever. But try it out. Come, I'll come to my place, and
I will definitely
roll,
hit you up.
try out for a month or two, and
yeah, I'm definitely was looking into that because I was.
Jiu-jitsu is for me that it's easily translated into real life. Not as much as also self-defense, but you're out there and the guys are trying to like choke you out. You have heavy guys on top of you. You're going through a struggle, like a real struggle. So when you go through life and something small is upsetting you, it hits you like, I could be getting choked out right now. This is nothing compared to what I go through on a daily with jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So it gives you a different.
I've heard nothing but positive things. Exactly.
Perspective.
I've heard that. I've heard that from so many different people, especially like as a comedian, I follow other comedians and podcasts, and I hear that from Joe Rogan. I hear that from what's his face?
Joe
Joey
Rogan,
Diaz.
big time.
Joey Diaz,
Yeah.
another guy who rolls, and a lot of other
Yeah.
places. Jocko, Jocko, the
Yeah.
Navy
Okay. Yeah.
SEAL. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, I watched these guys, and it's nothing but exactly what you said. So yeah, I mean, I'm
It,
looking forward
it,
to it. I can't wait till the pandemic's over.
and it's therapy for me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
therapy too. For me, it's therapy, right? Like I have a stressful day at work and so forth, and I go to the gym and it's like, I come out rolling and I'm like, oh, your head's clear and so forth, and also
I've heard, I have nothing but good things, and I want it for
that
myself. You said it,
camaraderie from the military.
right,
It's similar in jiu-jitsu. It's like a
and it's
family.
and it's therapeutic. I take some
Yeah.
classes. Uh, I don't know where I got it from. Maybe my childhood, maybe the military, but I had some anger management problems along the way. Uh, so they put me at the VA to take some classes, but a lot of people said, yeah, jujitsu would definitely relax me.
Uh-huh.
It will definitely curb my anger management. It's
Yes, it
learning an
does.
art,
It does.
it's physical training. I need to lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also,
Yeah.
nothing will relax you and calm you than somebody choking you out and making you, waking
Yeah.
you up. So I'm like, you know
Wake
what?
me
I
up.
like that. I like that.
Exactly.
Everyone's.
Yeah.
I got, I had anger management, but I'm not stupid. But I know, a good punch in the
Mm-hmm.
face will take a lot of anger away. So, but I wanted
It
more.
does. It does.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone needs an awakening,
Yeah.
and I rather have that awakening in a controlled area, like,
Environment. Yeah.
and yeah, in a mat. Yeah, and then with everything
Exactly.
else, the workout, the sweat, the
And
camaraderie,
everything come right. Everything.
and the self defense.
And like I said, I travel a lot with work, and I travel. And when I go travel, I bring my gi with me. And before I go to some place, I'll look up a jiu-jitsu school. And everywhere I've gone, I've been able to just show up and say, hey, can I roll here? Take a class. And they're like, sure, come on the mats. And boom. And then I meet friends. Like I have friends that I've met in Poland.
Okay.
I've met people in Kazakhstan. I've met people in Dubai. So it's great.
It's just, and also just for the record, I'm fragile. So I'm hoping I'll be okay.
Don't worry. You'll be fine. We have a guy in my school. He's 73, blue
Oh
belt,
wow.
73 years old. He started like a year ago. Yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
no
Not seeing
excuses.
you're making me feel good now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
73. I'm still
Yeah.
in my 40s. I'm
Yes.
in my 40s. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say where. I'm just in it. I'm just in it. We still
Yeah.
look good. I
You
can
still look good.
I can say I'm 38.
Yeah.
That's that Newtown milk we had for lunch. Look at that leche skin. Look at that leche skin.
Exactly.
So
Or the water
that we
from the
still look good.
hallways.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's why we didn't get the corona. That fucking water fountain shit.
Water fountain shit.
That water fountain. We're good. We're good. Listen, let's wrap this up because
All right,
I got a pernil. I got a pernil.
Ooh.
I got to get ready because it's the holidays. Tomorrow I'm going,
Yes.
or whatever, the day after, whatever.
Yeah. You celebrate at night? Like
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit. Somos Latinos. There's a pernil,
See, yeah.
and there's a midnight, and then there's the next day.
The next day. The pernil sandwiches the next day.
I might, yeah, so for sure. I might, house jumping maybe a little bit, depending on the numbers. It's funny. I gotta think twice before I go to somebody's house. It's like, okay, how many people?
Different.
Like I gotta figure out who's gonna be there and how have they been quarantining. Like I actually gotta do.
Exactly.
It's stupid, but
yeah.
so I may be
You gotta
going
be safe,
somewhere.
man.
I may not be going somewhere.
Hopefully, with this vaccine, we'll be somewhat semi-normal. I don't think we're ever going to go back to normal for a long, long time, but at least
Right.
we'll be
Big start.
Big start, yeah.
Because I want to get back on stage and I want to roll. So
yeah, let me know.
maybe by
Keep
next
me in
summer.
touch. I want to go check out your shows and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I'll definitely be having some stuff in Queens. Sometimes I produce. I'll give a shout out to everybody. But Raul, thank you for jumping on, man.
Thank you, brother.
This has been great. Maybe we'll do it again. I don't know.
Yeah, let me know.
And I'll reach out to Miss Lopez.
Yeah.
I definitely, yeah. If there's anybody who's watching, or Raul, like anybody interested, because I've been doing this since the lockdown. Because there's, I'm an artist. I need to create. So without the stage, this is what I'm doing now with a couple other things. So yeah, for the most part, I'm interviewing comedians. Everybody, all these interviews are on my YouTube channel, Hot Pudge Sunday. Hot Pudge Sunday. Sunday, like the day of the week. So yeah,
Yes.
by tomorrow, this video will be there. I got like 40 episodes, and most of them are comedians. But I like to get different people. I want to get different. That's why I jumped at the chance of having you on. Absolutely,
What
I'll
happened to
have
John John? I
Miss
saw John John was
Lopez.
coming on today.
I thought, yeah. I mean, I tagged him because he was the only one from the 1991 that I can remember that's there. But I want to hit him up because that motherfucker runs marathons. So
Yeah.
anybody that's like,
And
hey,
he's very
interesting.
spiritual. I hung out with him last month. I saw him.
I haven't seen him in so long. So yeah, anybody that's listening or dog, anybody, first responders, martial artists, teachers, lawyers, Newtowners. You know what I'm saying? So we got
There you
crazy,
got Juan Cucas right there.
we got crazy stories and crazy lives, and we all took different directions and shit. Some of us got married. We all got kids, and some of us married, divorced, got back together, a girlfriend or two. I may have been a sucio once. So it's just once. Just once. Una vez, maybe. She's in the next room. So
okay.
Anyway, but yeah, anybody who's interested, hit me up. Inbox me on my Instagram, Facebook, and let me know. And thank you. And maybe we'll do it again.
It's been a pleasure, brother. Be safe, be well, stay healthy.
Thank you, man. Shout out to your family. Life happens.
All right.
Life happens. Sometimes it happens in my pants.
Bye, Jess.
Thank
Bye,
Juan. Be good. All right, ladies, Raul Seashells. Raul Seashells. Thank you so much for coming on. Much appreciated. This has been, as a matter of fact, you set the record. Usually my Instagram lives only go for about 45, 50 minutes, and we fucking pushed an hour and a half. Good stuff. Love this stuff. Anybody wants to catch this episode or tuned in late today, by either sometime tomorrow night, this episode will be on my YouTube channel, Hot Pudge Sunday. Go to YouTube and subscribe. Please subscribe. I need the followers. Hot Pudge Sunday. Sunday is a day of the week. Hot Pudge Sunday. And yes, stay on my Instagram, stay on my Facebook, watch for future episodes. I have them twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, generally 8 o'clock. Sometimes I'll have a special episode like I did today with Raul because of his schedule. Obviously, and he has a gun. So yes, I'm going to obviously bend the rules, and I'll have special episodes here and there. But yeah, if anybody wants to volunteer, come on, talk shit, Newtown, or if you have some special skill set, shout out to my first responders, teachers, whatever. Just hit me up, maybe give me a little bit of bio, and I'll schedule you because I'm still going to be doing this. I'm in my second season, and as long as this pandemic keeps going, I'm going to keep going. And eventually I'm going to roll out some podcasts. I have 2 podcasts I'll be rolling out in the spring. So this Instagram is kind of practice. So I'm kind of practicing for the official shit in the spring. I have 2 very interesting, very cool, very awesome podcasts. One will be general for everybody, and one will be strictly military. I want to focus on the military, and I'm biased to the military, of course. So again, thank you for watching. My name is Pudge Fernandez. This has been Hot Pudge IG Live. Check out this episode, any other episode on Hot Pudge Sunday, my YouTube channel. Guys, be safe. God bless. Thank you very much.